The plan to build the proposed site's reservoir in Colusa County is picking up steam as Congressmen John Garamendi and Doug LaMalfa announced plans to introduce legislation on Capitol Hill.
As Action News Now reporter Brian Johnson explains, the first step is completing a feasibility study, and it's the economic feasibility of this nearly $3 billion project that has some concern. Brian.
That's right, Tamara. This morning's press conference near Maxwell brought together people on board with this plan, which dates back to the 1960s. But for various reasons, not everyone is on board.
Thank you so very, very much.
In the middle of one of California's worst droughts, a big day for proponents of a big project, the site's reservoir, as Congressman John Garamendi and Doug LaMalfa officially introduced legislation for it.
If we do this, it's just pluses for everybody in reducing that pressure on our existing supplies up here or going farther into a drought period without having to do super drastic things.
When that other drought comes, usually on a 10-year cycle, we want this reservoir in place to provide the water security that California and this region must have.
The off-stream reservoir would be located west of Maxwell along the Glen-Colusa Canal. Thad Bettner is their executive director.
There's really nothing that's new in terms of we need new sort of construction methods, nothing high-tech. It's very standard type construction, easy to build.
While it may be easy to build and water security may sound good, Barbara Vlamis has one major question.
Cost. Who's going to pay for dams is always an issue. Big infrastructure is very expensive.
One thing to say is storage, that's another thing to have a plan put together how you finance it.
Bettner says funding is likely to come from two sources: anyone interested in owning the rights to that water and an $11 billion state water bond if voted for in November.
As I tell everybody, there's this little time in between elections where people actually expect us to get things done. This would be one of those times.
You get the big picture in an election. It's going to improve water quality. It's going to improve water reliability. Doesn't that all sound good? Who would go, God, I hate mom and apple pie too? I mean, nobody would say that. Efficiency, building in efficiency is so much more cost effective than putting in large infrastructure that have other problems associated.
Bettner says his agency and other members of the Joint Powers Authority will examine the cost effectiveness. Meanwhile, that's what the project's feasibility study aims to do, which should be completed in less than a year. Vlamis also talked to me about her concerns that she has with site's location, issues like evaporization and mobilizing pollutants. Construction on the site's reservoir could start as early as the end of this year. For Action News Now, I'm Brian Johnson.